You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans, I've got your early weekly spoilers for November 24th through the 28th. We're going to talk about Billy and Nick being absolutely enraged. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, reach down, hit that subscribe button. As we always do on early edition day, we talk about what's coming the rest of this week. Then we dive into what is ahead for next week. And next week, by the way, is the end of November sweeps. So we're going to have a huge, big climax to sweeps. And part of that is the wedding. There's some other animosity going, big drama. All right. So on Wednesday, November 19th, we've got Cane trying to get into Phyllis's computer while she's in the shower after they do the deed, but he can't figure out her password. And so he ends up giving up and just taking a shower with her instead. But by the way, Phyllis saw him doing it. She totally clocked it. Cane and Phyllis head downstairs at the GCAC for a nightcap, but they run into Lily, who sees them coming downstairs and already has a good idea of what went on. So Lily starts grilling them and wants to know why Cane is in a good mood when his company is going down in flames, and he claims he's trying to be positive. Lily also wants to know why Cane and Phyllis seem so close. And she says that Lily is jealous, and then Phyllis is snarking that Lily doesn't like people to have fun, and she tells Phyllis to shut up. So Cane wants to see Lily in the morning just to chat, but she refuses. She realizes that Cane didn't hear her message about just give me a little more time, the message that should have given him hope, that should have prevented him from getting in bed with Phyllis. So Lily takes off disgusted. Phyllis and Cane talk over dessert at the coffee shop, and she's asking him about Lily. And Cane says that sleeping with Phyllis doesn't erase feelings for Lily, but Cane also reassures Phyllis that he really wants her. And she jokes about Cane wanting her password and says it's 94 11 21 24, but says she's going to change it soon. By the way, 94, the first two digits of her password, was the year that Phyllis first came to Genoa City, and 11 21 24 was this time last year when Phyllis woke up from her coma after being run off the road by crazy Jordan Howard, but Phyllis accused Sharon of doing it when she did not, and this might be, in Phyllis's mind, some sort of turning point, some epiphany. So that sounds like what those numbers mean to me. My passwords force me to do alphanumeric, one capital, and then a special character. So I don't know how she got that password to work. So I guess that's just for apps, though, not for your computer itself. Cane tells Phyllis he just wanted to peek at her computer to see if she stole his AI. And Phyllis understands and says she doesn't trust anybody but her kids, and then asks Cane if this was just a one-night thing, but they agree it is personal and it's more than that because he wants to be with Phyllis, and it's definitely not business. So Holden gets some coffee and thinks about his night with Claire, and then he's busy flirting with Esther. And Holden tells Esther he's looking for a place in Genoa City because he is staying. I wonder if he's going to wind up with the apartment over the coffee shop. It hasn't been booked in a while, and he was very specifically talking to Esther, so we'll see. Holden texts Claire to get together for drinks and then takes off. Nikki's asking Claire about her love life while they're having tea, and Claire says that Jordan was telling her what to do, Kyle was telling her what to do, and Claire doesn't like that and isn't ready to be in a serious relationship. She is having drinks with Holden later, and Claire tells Nikki that it's just a no strings thing, but she likes the fact that he's a little bit of a bad boy, which Nikki understands. And she talks to Claire about Victor being older and mentoring her and teaching her things. And then Claire teases Nikki about her very many marriages and husbands. And Claire also says that Harrison's been asking for a reunion. And Nikki says, you can see that kid anyway. You don't have to do that. And Claire mentions that Holden has some emotional baggage. There's some sort of messy but non-romantic thing in his past with Audra. And that alarms Nikki. After running into Phyllis and Cane and it being so brutal, Lily heads to the bar to drink, and she runs into Holden. Lily asks if he's still working for Cane, and then she blames Cane for Damien's death, but Holden disagrees. Lily also tells Holden that Cane's company is going under and he probably should move back to LA and get a job there. And he's shocked, but he kind of plays it off. Audra shows up and Lily tells Holden, again, go back to LA because you're not going to have a job. Then she takes off. Holden tells Audra, leave before Claire shows up and says she might get mad and spill the beans about Audra's crime. And she reminds Holden that it wasn't her crime, it was their crime. Audra says Holden didn't tell Claire the worst part of what they did together, and Holden insists that he only told Claire something to do damage control so she'd stop digging, and tells Audra that they're both going to lose big if Claire finds out the whole truth. And then Claire comes in and sees Audra chatting with Holden and sipping from his drink, and it ticks her off. So she wants to know why that bee won't stay out of her life, and then calls Billy to meet her because Claire says she's got some tea to spill on Audra. On Thursday, November 20th, Nick is looking for info from Detective Morrow, who Victor is having Michael check out. And of course, Nick's trying to find Noah, who's gone missing. Sienna and Noah are locked up together. Sienna's panicking, trying to wake up Noah, who's badly beaten and unconscious. He and Sienna are locked up in a room, and Noah has no idea what happened or how they got there. Sharon pushes back on Matt. He shows up at her hotel and he triggers the fire alarm so that Sharon will open the door and he can push his way in, and tries to give her a scare. But Sharon isn't scared. She's angry, and this kind of takes him by surprise. New LAPD cop Detective Annie Stewart debuts on Thursday, and I am wondering if she knows Dirty Detective Morrow, and she may interact with Nick soon. Friday, November 21st, Danny and Christine's wedding begins. It's a 2-day event on Young and the Restless. His son Daniel is doing an original song with Tessa at the wedding, and Daniel is bringing Tessa as his date. Instead of a wedding cake, look for donuts. Danny and Christine may be worried about Phyllis crashing, but she's got Cane in her bed and stars in her eyes, so maybe she will stay away. There's a sneak peek photo I can't show you for copyright reasons, but it has Michael, Diane, and Nate all glaring at somebody that looks like they interrupted, so there may indeed be a crasher, and if there is, Phyllis is the most likely. Also expect Gina Roma and Nina Webster to come to Genoa City for the wedding. Lots of friends gather for the 2-day event, Friday and Monday, including Abby and Devon, Michael and Lauren, Nate and Victoria, Tracy Abbott, Jack and Diane Abbott, plus it looks like Michael officiates the wedding. The week of November 24th through the 28th is a short holiday week of episodes. It begins with more of Danny and Christine's wedding on Monday, the 24th. They are starting their happily ever after in style. Phyllis and Cane get in deeper, and it's definitely more than sex, but a lot less than love. Christel Khalil is out on maternity leave soon, which means Lily's leaving town, and I'm sure them getting involved is part of the reason why she goes. Kyle isn't ready to give up on Claire yet. I'm sure he wants her around for Thanksgiving, but if she's smart, she'll stick to the Newmans or hang out with Holden, who doesn't have any family in town. Jack warned Nikki about Victor using the AI for dirty deeds, and Nikki ignored him. Jack said she's complicit if Victor comes after Jabot. We'll see how that goes. Adam's trying to keep Victor distracted now that they know Jill is the investor in Abbott.com. So Victor and Adam are going to make a move to get the funding snatched from Jill. And of course, that means Billy Boy will lose it. Sally's going to be devastated if Adam succeeds. Plus, Sienna and Noah remain captive, and Sharon may join them, with Nick increasingly angry and worried. And again, we have preemptions for U.S. sports on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, and the day after for Black Friday. So November 27th and 28th, no new episodes, which is typical. And if any happen to record, double check and make sure they're not new, then delete them. Get them off your DVR so they don't mess up your recordings for the beginning of December.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.